Okay, this is the part that I want to talk about. Remember just now when I talked about the eye face, I was like, oh, you know, it's just two eyeballs. It's just a simple face, a chill face. What's the point? But then remember when I said one of the key elements of this ultimate is the story. This phase play a part in the final phase if you fuck up. If you kill Torden, and the moment you kill both the dragons, you will come back to this situation. But because Torden is not here to absorb the eyeballs, you actually do this phase. You actually will repeat exactly here. You will be exactly in this situation. But because Hoshifon and I don't know her name, because she's alive, you don't get these two buffs. And because you don't get these two buffs, you cannot defeat these two eyes. And then Nidhogg will be rebirthed and you die. In a lore standpoint and the Mr. Ozma flowchart design of this fight, this phase has a role. But he doesn't give it too much attention, just 1 minute. Everything in this fight is there for a reason, for a purpose. Okay, this phase is not difficult, but this phase is difficult. A lot of people, when they say this in their guide, in their clear video, in their review, a lot of people will say that this phase is the hardest. I want to supplement what they say, which they already did, but in case you weren't there to listen to their supplement, this phase is very easy. If this is a phase 1, you figure this out in less than 5 pulls. And then you get to do this every single pull after you wipe. You will do this with one eye closed. This phase is very easy to execute by itself. If you can do this early in the fight, if you can do this at the Estinian phase, and you put the Estinian in this phase, the Estinian would be the hardest phase in this whole fight. And this would be one of the easiest phase in this whole fight. But the way Mr. Ozma put this phase on the 12th minute is what makes this phase so difficult. You have to go through 12 minutes of consistency for one attempt. And this phase is easy, but very unforgiving. If somebody forget the slightest mitigation, it's over. If any random person die, it's over. They got this enriched mechanic that honestly I'm not a fan of. It doesn't give you proc chance. Other phases, you got damage down for 2 minutes, you got 50% damage down, you have a death, you recover, you got weakened, you can still proc, right? But this one doesn't give you any room. One person is dead, it's over. It's very easy to learn. This first starter mechanic is not difficult. I think the tank busters are interesting. I mean, it's very simple. You just stack or near far or solo. I know, but I thought it's very interesting. And yet again, they design mechanics randomly to the point that you got some pattern that you just don't get uptime, which is good design. Only through that they can do more crazy things, right? Making you feel uncomfortable, even though the mechanic is easy, sometimes it's part of the difficulty of the mechanic. It's easy, makes you want to go for that one more GCD, makes you greed, makes you forget because you are just having so much fun pressing button on the boss, and then you die, and then you complain, fuck this fight, fuck the uptime. But then they compensate it by a lesser DPS check. And because it's an ultimate fight, execution is more important than optimization. That's why we let this type of mechanic slide. If this is Savage, if this is an EX trial, Xeno will tell you this is the fight he hates the most. You got some mechanic that you lose uptime, but it's an ultimate. You value consistency. There's so much at stake. 12 minutes in to proc a rather simple but punishing phase. It's okay to lose one uptime. It's okay to throw 2 tomahawks. It's okay to throw 2 daggers. I can live with that. I think it's fine. I like how a simple mechanic like this have a lot of pattern though. You got a near far pattern, you got a far pattern, you got a near pattern. I like it. Not difficult, otherwise not difficult. I would say primal difficulty. Primal difficulty mechanic. He's like a fucking truck though. Now the only hard mechanic in this phase is this one right here. Now, because ultimate difficulty throws a lot of mechanics at you, that means that the way of doing a mechanic is very specific. If this is like the Nidhogg, yeah, you can argue the boss pattern are different. It could be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you got hot whale, hot tail. Then you can say that there's a lot of multiple ways to do it. Then you have to think about how to do it. But because this is an ultimate, because they throw everything at you, and then they throw debuffs at you, it means that there is only one way to do this mechanic. So all you gotta do is to figure out the one way. Now 12 minutes in, you only got 1 hour. You at most got 4 attempts if you play perfectly. First few look is very hard to get a general idea, right? But I think once you see enough, you can whiteboard this, formulate a way, and you can go into like Nidhogg normal, and then we use the arena to practice, and it worked. Like the very next pool, it worked. This is a very hard mechanic to figure out 12 minutes in on the fly when your first time reach there, but very easy to formulate. And also this statter though, this statter is a prank. I guarantee you, right? When Mr. Ozma designed this 4-4 stack, it was enough already. But Mr. Ozma is like, you know, it's an ultimate fight. Let's go crazy a little bit. Let's just throw a tatter in there. Their HP is so low. Rather than make it 5%, let's make it 3%. So that if if all 8 of them press a GCD at the same time, they're gonna fuck it up. It's such a troll. It has wiped a lot of people. Some of you guys will be like, that's not it. Come on, it's just stupid. I'm telling you, you guys are gonna fuck it up. When you guys are progging it the first time, second time, when you guys get to this phase second, third time, you guys will fuck it up. If you guys didn't fuck up the first one, you will fuck up the second one. Don't pretend that you are some gaming warlords that I didn't. You did. You just didn't say it. You did. You just didn't stream it. Everybody did. Don't pretend you didn't. Oh, I like how they do this data though. You know, I like how the first time they make you do this data, they want you to hit one another, and then this second time they give you zero indication. This right here is Final Fantasy finest. They introduce this mechanic the first time to you. They tell you gotta overlap it. If you don't overlap it, you die. Oh shit, we see the data again. Guys, overlap. And then they fucking do this. Can you imagine? I don't even want to imagine those wolf first, second, third without any video footage. When they first time get here, what the fuck would they? They must be like, well, I guess we just die then. There's no information. 15 minutes in, they don't give you any information, and then they pull this shit on you. It's a 100% wipe. The first time you get here, 100%. This one right here is Mr. Osma telling you, go back again. You got this far, go back. You are not ready to see the next phase. Not your first time, bitch. Remember the I phase? When the first time we reached this phase, we used the caster LV. Yes, we did it. We see the next phase. Yes. You get to see the next phase, but you can't pass the next phase. Remember that? This part is Mr. Osma telling you it doesn't fucking matter how well you played. We don't care how well you played up to this point. You don't get to see the next phase. What a troll, man. Everybody thought this was Enrage. The very first time, everybody thought this was Enrage. This was good though. I like this though. I like the debate. I like the second time the line data requires you to get hit here. Okay, this is one part I don't understand. Some groups say that you have to kill this at the same time. Do you have to? Like I saw some group prop, their comms is always like, dude, the other is really low, the other is really low, stop. Do you really have to? No, right? But I see some streams, they say that, oh, the other one is really low, guys, stop on this one, hold, okay, they are together, okay, go. I'm like, huh? Wait, why? I wish I turned my camera around. I didn't know he also eat. Shogaji, check. Okay, this is the part. This is the part they should have done that Alexander. But then again, they introduced like a different mechanic here. They make you take bleed. They make you heal. They make you not topped up. They make you maybe waste mitigation. That's why they can't make it into a cutscene, right? If you make it into a cutscene, that would be too straightforward, right? You just take damage and you don't die, right? Or back to LB3 bullshit. So the fact that they do this here is because they introduce a new way for you to prepare yourself, right? But I wish they do Alexander. I wish we can enjoy this rather than looking out for this, you know what I mean? Now, as a ninja, I can enjoy this, obviously. As a ninja, I can watch this. But for healer and tank, they probably like, when do I press my mitigation, you know? Man, this is where the shakies begin. I think this is the worst shakies I ever had. Again, not because the face is hard. I will talk about the face. But fuck, man. 15 minutes of pure focus to get here. I do not want to go through it again. But I kind of want to, but I don't want to. It's like, I want to eat something really fucking spicy, but I know I cannot handle it, but I really want to eat it. Do you guys have that feeling? I do not want to go through this again, but I don't mind going through it again. This is so difficult, man. 15 minutes of focus for this. Okay, this is the most important thing I want to talk about this phase. This Exaflare. I am very disappointed that there is a brain dead Exaflare strat. The brain dead Exaflare strat actually make this the easiest Exaflare in the history of all Exaflares. Even the golden Bahamut Exaflare was harder than this. The golden Bahamut Exaflare either forces you to play like a pussy or play like a Giga Chat at the beginning. And we all know we are all fucking pussies on our first clear. On your first clear, there is no choice. You are a pussy. You want to be a pussy. You were made a pussy. But this Exaflare, you don't have a choice. You just have to do it this way. This Exaflare is supposed to be the hardest one because of how they did. But turns out that there is a brain dead Exaflare for any pattern. I'm not sure whether this is an oversight. I think it's an oversight. And if I am Mr. Osma, I will fix it. I don't care if that will upset the population, the player base. If I am Mr. Osma, I will fix it. I don't think he will do it. I don't think Japanese will do it. If this fight has a flaw, that Exaflare was the flaw, sadly. And because of this ultimate and this Exaflare, I expect the next ultimate Exaflare to strike back with a vengeance. Oh yeah, you know it. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. The next ultimate is gonna have Exaflare, of course. And I can guarantee you, because of this, the next ultimate is gonna have the hardest Exaflare we will ever see. You know what I want to see? I want to see Exa Earthquake. PlayStation Exaflare! PlayStation Exaflares. I like this auto attack mechanic. Now, sadly, I didn't get the privilege to proc this. Sadly, we were one phase behind. If we were given half a day more before the world first video come out, I think we would be able to blind proc this ourselves. That auto attack would have blown my mind. I think we would easily spend half a day more figuring out the auto attack. So luckily, we got the video. Also, luckily, we got the Exaflare brain dead video that makes this phase easy for the rest of us. Otherwise, I don't think this phase is as easy as everybody thinks on the first proc, on first discovery. I don't think it's as easy. There's a reason why World First said they spent 2 days on this. Now, I'm not sure whether that's the reason, but I can only imagine they have to figure out all this themselves, right? Yo, I like this one though. We all expected Akmon. You know, going into this last phase, we all expected 3 things. We all expected Exaflare. We all expected Akmon. I think this is a nice way to do Akmon. A lot of people got debated by this mechanic really hard. I have seen every single group fuck up this simple mechanic. You know why? Because when they get the chariot pattern, they stay out. And when they stay out, they miss heals. You remember what I said earlier? When Mr. Ozma is a very scary person, he lay traps within traps. He have plans for plans. When you get the chariot pattern, it seems easy, right? You just stand out there and then you just soak it, right? But he calculated to perfection that you are barely out of range to get healed and on mitigation. And some of you will die. He calculated it. So in order for you to do this mechanic right, after the chariot, you must go in. Only by going in, you will get the heals. If you get really lucky and you get 4 dynamo, then you wouldn't know that. But I don't think it will happen that you get 4 dynamo. I mean 3 dynamo, right? I managed to catch a lot of clear. I saw Happy's clear. I saw Xeno's clear. I saw Haru Glory's clear. Every group has got the chariot pattern and they die. When Haru Glory was watching my clear video, he knew I was in chat. So Haru Glory is like, why did Arthars say go back in? I was sitting in chat like, I'm not gonna tell him. And then the next pool, he got to this phase, he got the chariot pattern, and then they die. And then they say, I didn't get healed. And then Haru Glory is like, that's why Arthars said to go in. I was like, everybody got debated by the chariot. Every group. Mr. Ozma is wicked, man. He planned, man. He planned. Do you think it's a coincidence? I don't think it's a coincidence. After everything I've seen in this fight, that guy is, one would go as far to say that we are glad that Mr. Ozma is on the correct side of justice. Can you imagine if Mr. Ozma is a serial killer? Can you imagine if you give Mr. Ozma the death note? Let's just say that we are glad that Mr. Ozma is L and not Kira. But again, just like Kira, just like Yagami, Mr. Ozma fucked this one up. He's only human.
Push.
You are about to see one moment that I was already crying already. This one right here, I was already crying already. Look in slow motion, my reaction here. Get it. That right there, I'm already crying already. My eyes were already extremely heavy there. I knew we kill it already. Nice selfie! Yes, sir! Oh man. Oh. Dude, I got goosebumps watching this, man. I feel so satisfied. This is one of the hardest fight I ever did. This is the hardest ultimate I done. This is the longest proc I ever done. Like Violence say, this is a masterpiece of the fight. I don't know how they're gonna elevate this. But then we say the same for UCOP. We say the same for T. Yeah, this one is also so well pieced together. Story. This one just have the whole package, you know?